Every 2 minutes in the U.S., someone is sexually assaulted. DNA collected from a rape kit can lead to an arrest and a conviction.
But 8 News anchor Kerri O'Brien has uncovered something disturbing about those kits.
And she's here now to tell us more about her special investigation. Kerri?
Christina Juan, this will shock you. Nationwide, there are hundreds of thousands of rape kits sitting on shelves, never tested. It surprised me. DNA is the best tool law enforcement has for solving crimes. This discovery got me wondering why. And I wanted to know, how many rape kits do we have sitting in storage?
He swooped down over me, put me in a headlock, and put a knife into my throat.
Henrico County, March 25th, 1993. Wanda Faye Mills is out for a jog before work when suddenly a man grabs her from behind and drags her into the woods.
He tied me up and raped me at that scene a couple of times.
The traumatic ordeal spanned over 6.5 hours in 2 locations.
He tied me to 5 trees, stretched out like an animal hide from my neck and every limb of my body. And then he raped me at that scene several more times.
Mills' rapist took careful precautions, trying to wipe away any evidence.
He started taking the knife and cleaning my fingernails out one by one.
But DNA can be found in many places, and he left a trail of his on her underwear. It's what ultimately led to the arrest and conviction of Charles Riley.
It was so spot on, you could not have ignored the truth with the DNA that was discovered in my case. DNA is the fingerprint of the 21st century.
Most of us probably assume evidence gathered from a rape kit is automatically tested for DNA. But 8 News has discovered that's not always the case. The Justice Department estimates there are 400,000 rape kits sitting in evidence rooms never tested. The problem is DNA testing is costly. Each kit can cost about $1,500 to test. And if prosecutors don't think they have a strong enough case, DNA testing may never happen. 8 News did some digging locally and discovered the Richmond Police Department has 75 rape kits sitting on shelves in their evidence room. They tell us with some of those kits, the cases are airtight and DNA is not needed. They say cost is not a factor. In Chesterfield, we found 125 rape kits sitting in storage.
They may have a suspect that's already confessed to the matter, so they wouldn't need it.
Like Richmond Police, Lieutenant Rich McCullough with Chesterfield Police says there are various reasons for not testing those kits. 37 never went to the state lab because the Commonwealth Attorney decided not to prosecute.
There are other times where a victim may choose to not cooperate with the prosecution on that matter. Cost to us is not a factor.
But perhaps most shocking, in this day and age with databases and spreadsheets to help us easily keep record of important information, the Henrico Police Department has no idea how many kits they have sitting in their evidence room. 8 News filed a Freedom of Information Act request for the numbers, but FOIA law doesn't require they create a document that doesn't exist. Henrico Police offered to do the research for us at a cost of nearly $900.
Rain started surveying local law enforcement agencies, and the majority told us they actually had no idea how many kits they had that were untested.
Scott Berkowitz is the president of RAIN, Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, which has launched a campaign to bring attention to the huge backlog of untested rape kits.
This is a very intrusive, very difficult process to go through. The least we can do after we put them through that is to test the evidence.
This is the box that's used.
Robin Gann shows us what a rape kit looks like. She coordinates Our Heart, a local group of volunteers who often sit with rape victims as they go through the kit.
This is the oral swab, head and hair collection. It's going to be really important.
These kits, which are supposed to be tested for DNA at crime labs, require dozens of samples.
There'll be swab, there'll be photos taken.
It doesn't sound so bad when you just call it a rape kit, but the reality of it is they are often in the hospital for hours.
I think it's very important that the labs are properly funded so that this backlog can officially be tested.
In the meantime, to prevent your kit from sitting in storage,
the best thing that a victim can do is just keep in touch with the detective assigned to their case. Be a nudge.
Congress recently passed the SAFER Act. It gives federal dollars to police departments to do an audit of their rape kits. The legislation is already helping in cities like Houston, where an audit found a backlog of more than 6,000 kits. The mayor there ordered they all be tested, and so far 464 cases have yielded usable DNA.